Hey y'all, welcome back. Well, today's video is going to be a 1-year review on how my custom built Fimco sprayer has held up. So I've had a lot of questions here lately about how is it held up, and some people didn't realize I put a custom trailer under it, and what I've had to replace, how it's held up over a full year's of use. Now this thing is being used for multiple things, so we'll start breaking all that down and I'll tell you the do's and don'ts and the pros and cons of these sprayers. So y'all stay tuned. So back to the start of this, when I was looking for a sprayer that I could pull behind the side and not have to have it on a tractor. And this sprayer was a great option for me because most of my mixes for 2 acres are going to be 20 to 25 gallons of water with Arrest Max or whatever, or Slay. And this sprayer I thought was going to be the fix for that. Well, it was in some part of it, but the problem was it sprays great, the spread's great, it does up to 7 foot, it covers good, I've had really good luck out of it, it's done really good. Now, but the factory trailer it comes on, the axle is way too short. So I built this custom trailer and we'll do a walk around. So what I would say, if you're going to buy a Fimco sprayer like I have, it's great on flat ground and fields, but when it's full of liquid and you're going up trails and hills and hollers and valleys and mountains like we do here in Tennessee, it wants to tip over. And the pin situation that comes on the factory trailer does not keep the front of the neck of the trailer, the tongue, from turning over. So you need to convert it over to a ball style latch. But other than that, it's a great sprayer. So I'll go over some of the features that I really like about the Fimco sprayer and what I've changed. So I was stating a second ago, I've got some video I'll show here of how skinny the axle was before. It was actually, I think, it was barely outside the boom sprayer. So I opted to cut down this trailer, which I have a video I'll put right up here or over here of me converting this trailer. This is a Harbor Freight trailer, one of those small put together trailers, and I just cut it down even smaller. And the reason I wanted that was so I'd have a greased hub that I could grease my hubs with, pull it up and down the highway. One of my deer leases is 4.5 miles from here, one's 10 miles from here. So I opted to widen it. Now that was the con of that's just the minus of the factory trailer. The frame was very small, no suspension. It did have fenders on it, which was nice, but the axle was way too short and it was too top heavy with liquid in it. So I had to widen everything out. So I chose a bigger base. As you can see, I've cut this out. Of course, I camoed my trailer. And then I went with these off-road tires, which is really a lawnmower tire from Tractor Supply. Same hub pattern. I cut my axle and everything down. But the factory was too skinny and too top heavy. So I eliminated that by giving a wider trailer and a wider stance on the axle and wider tires. I've not had this thing tip over yet. So that is one of the things that was a plus in building the trailer. Now a couple things, and another I'll show you on the front. I wanted a hitch. So the hitch that comes on this is a pin hitch. So it's just got a pin drops through it. And it wants to twist, which I use the neck of it here. I still have it on there, but that's just bolted through. It can still, I can pull the pins and slide out the back if I ever got a hole in the tank. But I wanted to have an 1.7 inch or 1.75 inch or 2 inch ball, coupler on the tongue. That really helps it from turning over as well. Now, the reason, I've told you the reasons why I built a trailer. So I actually, so the uses of this, I actually spray all my food plots with it, and I come back and I fill the 35 gallons up and I run it through the sprayers for about 2 minutes and clean them out. And then I dump all the water, or spray out the boom sprayer too, or the boom sprayer and the handheld sprayer, clear the lines, and I still should have 30 gallon or so of water, and then I drain it out the bottom. So that's how I do it. So I'll use it on my food plots I'll have whatever recommendation it is for slay, arrest, any kind of, pesticide or herbicide or whatever that I put in it. It'll have a recommendation. I always run a full tank through it, clean water afterwards, so it's ready for the next setup. Because I might move to that and be putting in Cornerstone Plus to spray food plots to kill them, or spray my own yard, or as you can see my driveway where I've sprayed my driveway, you can see the dead grass in it. So I use it for multiple things. And I have to say, for a Fimco sprayer, this thing is amazing. I have run probably 8 tanks of just Cornerstone weed killer through it for different purposes and different reasons, from killing food plots to residential to even doing some commercial jobs down there next to where I work at. Then I've sprayed food plots. You can spray liquid lime through these, and the only maintenance you really have to do is keep them clean and don't let the pump freeze and bust during the winter. So the Fimco itself, the idea of the Fimco sprayer, you can't beat them. It has been a solid trooper. Now with me changing it to a customized rig, there's a few things that I didn't think through that if you decide to build one, I want you to try to make sure you do this. And I'm going to show you what has failed on this that was partially my fault and one that wasn't mine. So as you can see, the drain spout on here, it comes plastic. It never seals, shaking, it wants to leak, and I opted, it was a failure on their part. They should have a brass petcock or hosecock, whatever you want to call them. I got one with a dual so that I can drain the tank and close it off and completely then pump out of it. So that is their failure part. They need to make a more robust or rigid spout or connection for that pump. That's the only failure on my side, or that I think was Fimco's side. Now, me saying that, I did alter this to a trailer, and the hose was originally touching with a regular 45 coming out. Now that I have the Y on it, it's doing a lot better. So that's partially mine and probably partially theirs. Their failure. Now, the other thing that failed on me was the gauge. It didn't take long at 60 PSI for that gauge to pop and continuously leak and be leaking down onto whatever, the grass or whatever. I would constantly have a leak when the pump was running. So I chose to go to Master Car and get a liquid filled 0 to 60 gauge. Now I did spend some money on that, but that gauge has worked flawlessly. It's vibration protectant. It's got, it's fluid in it. I don't have to worry about it getting shook around, beat up or whatever. That gauge has been awesome. And I'll put a link to the description on anything y'all need. You can request it. I'll put a link about the 90 on the bottom, the drain cock on the bottom, and I can find a similar gauge to this for you to replace or have replacements. But that's the only 2 failures on this entire pump. This system has worked almost flawlessly for me, other than those 2 things. I really can't complain. A couple things I would tell you to do: keep an eye, in my maintenance side of it, when I'm running a full tank, I will pull these heads, pull these off. As you can see, you can wash these out and clean them, and they come with little filters. Now what happens that people don't realize is if you do not, and this happens a lot, people will put one kind of herbicide or one kind of spray, whether it be Cornerstone or whatever, and they won't wash the tank out, and then they'll put it up. And then when you mix something else like Slay or Rest or something from Whitetail Institute or any of your food plot stuff, or maybe even some line, there's a chemical reaction. You get a lot of plastic-like stuff, and it stops these little filters up. So my suggestion to you is every time you do spray a tank full and you put your clean water to triple rinse it or flush it or whatever, after you've sprayed through your jets and cleaned them out, you've sprayed through your boom and you sprayed through your wand, all you need to do is pop this off and this, wash this out, and make sure there's nothing on that little filter. And then simply reinstall it. And you're done. It don't take a few seconds. Now you could even go further than I did, and once you take that out and take that filter out, take them all three out and turn the pump on, and just blow water straight through it. But they make replacement parts for these, and these little sprayer heads are replaceable. You can get them at Tractor Supply or through Fimco's site. But this thing has been a trooper. So my suggestion to somebody out there is, if you're going to buy one of these Fimco sprayers and you're going to put it together just like the trailer shows it is, or just like the trailer's assembled and everything, it's only going to do real good in flat fields, residential areas, somewhere you're not going sideways and you're not going through trails and stuff, because it's not going to tip over when it's full. It won't tip over when it's empty. So the trailers are not really wide enough to do the rough outdoor stuff that we do. So I would suggest that if you're going to buy one, you're going to use it for those options. Now, if you want to widen the axle out or put a different axle, wider tires, by all means, you get that width out there, you keep it from tipping over, you're good. Or just do like I did and another Facebook Marketplace find and take one of these Harbor Freight trailers, or buy one, the smallest one you can get, and you could wouldn't even have to cut it down. You could just change the tires over to a wider tire and just set this thing on the trailer and then fill it up, and you don't have to worry about it. And you got your 2-inch or 1.75-inch coupler, whatever, 1 7/8, whatever it is. 1 3/4 or 1 7/8 or 2-inch, 2 5/16, whatever. But anyway, you can have a coupler that fits the hitch for your side-by-side or four-wheeler. This thing is more than capable of covering 2 acres on a mix, no problem, Whitetail Institute. Not counting when I do cornerstone to kill off the grass and hay on a food plot or whatever's on a food plot. I will go spray it a month prior, kill it, then burn it. Then I'll put liquid lime through this, spray it to whatever pH it needs to be, and turn that lime under and get ready for my fall food plots. So this thing is a big contributing factor to what I have to do to keep the lease going. So would I buy it again? Yes. I would add to it and build it a little different, but the tank is ideal. The tank is the right shape. The hookup's easy. The switches on and off is easy. The pump's replaceable, but make sure that you keep a screwdriver, a small nut driver, or a Phillips head or a flathead with you, so you can tighten clamps up if they do get loose in the field, because you don't want to get all the way out in the field and then have a line blow off because you got your pressure turned up too high because your clamp was loose, and then you got to come all the way home after whatever you've lost fluid out of it before you realize it. So make sure that you keep the proper tools in there just to tighten up hose clamps. That's basically all you're gonna have to do. So I hope this video helped all the people that's been asking questions about it. It has been flawless for a year, very little maintenance. Keep it clean is the #1 thing. Keep it clean, flush it, it ain't gonna hurt it. And then when it gets cold weather, take the thing inside or completely drain the pump out, pump it out. But that pump's the original pump. I have changed the gauge, and of course I did customize the trailer. Oh, and I changed the petcock or drain on the back of it, the pickup on the back, to a dual so that I could drain or siphon, just every which way I want to direct it. So I'm telling you, it's been a beast, and I abuse my stuff. I mean, yeah, I use it. That Pioneer has got 12,000 miles on it. It pulls color packers and everything else. This is one of my favorite pieces of equipment that helps me do what I need to do to get me into deer season without all the work at the end. So this is a vital piece of equipment in pony life. So I hope this helps somebody. We're going to have a lot of videos and reviews through the summer, along with a lot of food plot videos. You're going to see a lot of deer season prep. Yes, it is just May, but we've got to gear up for deer season. There's a lot of stuff's got to be done. So y'all keep watching. Drop in the comments what you're using, what kind of spray you're using, sprayer, and then of course what kind of spray. It always helps one another out with reading the comments. Somebody might not be using Slayer Rest. They might be using something else that's helping them with their perennial or annual food plot, whatever. Perennial food plot mainly is what you're going to spray. So y'all check it out. Drop in the comments what you think. Let me know if you got any more questions on this. Maybe we'll do a review in 2 years, but we're going to use this thing religiously to get the results we need, and so far it stood up. So as always, God bless. We'll see you on the next video. See ya.